In 1989, Sega released the Sega Genesis, or the Mega Drive if you live in the fucking UK or Japan. It would change the trajectory of the company for the long run. It was the first real competitor to Nintendo's reign in the home console field. They would continue to make consoles until 2001. Now, they're a third-party publisher. And for most companies, that means the worst. But in my opinion, Sega is still kicking. Sega is one of my favorite companies making video games right now. I grew up with a lot of their games, mainly because of a certain hedgehog. But thanks to playing those games, I became a fan for life, and it definitely helped to broaden my horizons with many different Sega games, all different franchises and genres. They are definitely on my Mount Rushmore of video game studios. So if somehow you couldn't tell by the title of the video, we are going to talk about Sega games, specifically the series that I have a fondness for. Also, I clickbaited you, I'm not talking about Sonic. There are enough videos online talking about him. So let's get into it! Yakuza. Or is it Like a Dragon? Or is it both? I don't know, I'm just gonna say Yakuza. Yakuza has went from a Japan exclusive franchise to being a beloved game series across the world thanks to the success of Yakuza 0. You could get access to almost every game in the series on modern hardware. Obviously, there are some missing, but compared to other series out there, it's an improvement. Ryuga Gotoku, I hope I pronounced that right, have made consistent bangers. When it comes to Yakuza projects in recent times, they haven't missed. Probably the best studio out there that heavily relies on reusing assets. The gameplay of the games is a mix of different genres. The combat is a 3D beat 'em up where you're fighting multiple guys at once while having access to heat moves, which are these awesome finishing moves that you can do on enemies. Go search up a heat move compilation and tell me you don't want to play the games. I thought they were so cool that I did a heat move in real life on my older cousin Jerry. He's been in the hospital for a couple of weeks, but I'm sure he'll be fine. You also got a full open area that you can explore where you can do side quests, also known as sub-stories, which are a big appeal of the franchise. You also got mini games that you can play, some of which are of differing quality, but there is a lot to do, so you will be busy for a while. And of course, there is the story and characters. I won't spoil any of the stories for any of the games, just know that it is in the style of a crime drama, which is where a lot of the appeal for the story comes from. And they are very entertaining, except when they do the inevitable exposition dump. Kiryu, who is the main character for a large amount of the Yakuza franchise, is probably one of my favorite protagonists in video games. He's a stoic man, always willing to help people no matter what, even though he's a part of the Yakuza. A bit of a conflict of interest, but oh well. There's other characters that I could talk about, like Ichiban, who is the protagonist of the recent turn-based Yakuza games. Akiyama, one of my personal favorites, who has a very fun playstyle and is also Jesus. But of course I gotta talk about Majima. Majima is Kiryu's rival turned lover. I may have fabricated that last part. He's absolutely become a breakout star for the series because of his eccentric personality. Also, he was voiced by Mark Hamill for some reason.
This is the part where you're supposed to laugh! Laugh, you stupid motherfucker!
If you want to get into the franchise, I recommend that you start with Zero. It's the perfect place to start and gets you acquainted with the characters and the gameplay. And if you like Zero and you finished it, you can continue with the number entries from there. Kiwami 1 and 2 are the first and second games respectively, if you were wondering. But yeah, I love this series and I'm happy to see it's become as big as it is. I'm super excited to see what this team has for the future in the form of Project Sentry and the new Virtua Fighter. Hey, maybe when they come out, Jerry will finally be out of his coma. Now let's move to Ryogo Gotoku's less serious franchise. Not like Yakuza is any more serious than this. Super Monkey Ball, made by the same guy who made Yakuza, Monkey Ball has a pretty simple concept. Instead of directly controlling your character, you control the stage that they're on. You pretty much have to roll your monkey to the goal. Or your hedgehog, or your human man, or your Hatsune Miku. With its arcadey level design in mind, you wouldn't be surprised that Monkey Ball started off as an arcade game, where you controlled the game with a banana control stick. Is that cool or what? Please agree with me that it's cool. Most people probably became familiar with Monkey Ball with the GameCube games. And let me say, Monkey Ball was the perfect fit for the GameCube. The control stick felt so right to control the stage with. And I have had so much fun playing all of these games, even though I really suck at them because they're very hard. Monkey Ball has had multiple entries over the years. There's the OG arcade version, which I wish I owned in my house. The first two games on GameCube, which are fantastic. And then there's everything else. While not all of the games after 2 are terrible, they kinda lost the plot a bit. I mean, what was Super Monkey Ball Adventure? Genuinely, I am still confused by the existence of this game to this very day. And the games that are more in style with the original games start to become easier by adding stuff like a jump button and railings so that you wouldn't fall off. How can I have fun if the game isn't actively torturing me? This isn't real Monkey Ball. Thankfully, I think we're a bit more on track than when we used to be with the recent Banana Mania course correcting us. It finally gets the appeal of the games. Fun gameplay that kicks your balls. I want to try out the new Banana Rumble game because people have been singing its praises, but I'll only play it when it's playable on something that isn't a potential fire hazard. So yeah, go play Super Monkey Ball. Play Banana Mania if you have most modern consoles, Banana Rumbles on Switch, and if you don't mind sailing the 7 seas, you can always try out the first 2 games. Especially for the mini games, they are super underrated and super fun to play in party settings. Now let's move on to the next section because I am a bit busy with my experiments. I'm placing real monkeys into balls and selling them to children in America. I think this is the best get-rich-quick scheme I've ever had. Oh shit, one of the monkeys have broken containment. George, what are you doing? Put that knife down. George, no. Persona. Saying that name hurts me, yet I still enjoy it. Ever since Sega bought Atlas, their games have been getting way more recognition, thanks to a certain 5th entry, which, to no surprise, is how I became a fan of the series. Persona started off as a spin-off to the Shin Megami Tensei series, another series that I'm quite fond of. But now Persona has become its own thing, even though both franchises still share demons and personas. Persona has become a huge franchise in the JRPG scene. It's up there with the greats like Final Fantasy, Xenoblade, and Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden. It has a very addicting gameplay loop of dungeon crawling and semi-life sim elements. I'm a huge fan of turn-based combat, so obviously I think the gameplay itself is really fun. What makes Persona's combat different though from other turn-based games is the one more system, similar to the press turn system from SMT. If you hit an enemy with a move they're weak against, you can get an extra turn and even swap to another teammate. It's like doing combos, but it's in a turn-based RPG. It's awesome. And obviously, I'd be remiss not bringing up how great the stories are in these games. Similar to when I was talking about Yakuza, I don't want to go too in detail with the stories, because I want you to experience them for yourselves. But I can mention my favorite thing in the Persona series, the social links. Or confidants if you're Persona 5. Yeah, you just want to be special. You want to be the center of attention, you fucking asshole. They are self-contained stories that you can experience parallel to the main story. The love that they put into the main story, they especially put into the social links. Plus, you get a lot of free time to do whatever you want, so it's always recommended to do a social link. Also, it will help in your combat, because if you do a person's social link, because they are linked with a arcana and your personas are linked with arcanas, if you do the social link, the better the persona of that arcana will become. So you get a great story and also a boost to your gameplay. It's a win-win. And of course, the soundtracks are great. I don't think you need me to tell you how good they are. They are absolute bangers. I love Persona, and if you want a place to start, I actually think the recent Persona 3 Reload is the perfect place to start. It's my personal favorite Persona story, plus it's piss baby easy if you're bad at video games. And after that, you can play the other games in the series, or be a true Persona fan and just watch Let's Plays on YouTube. Before we continue, rapid fire my favorite characters in each Persona game. In Persona 1, it's Iniba, who can race change. In 2, Innocent Sin, it's Maya, and in Eternal Punishment, it's Katsuya. In 3, it's Aegis, because I'm basic. In 4, it's that bastard Adachi. And in 5, it's Takemi, because I like goth girls. Argue about my picks in the comments. Streets of Rage is the best beat-em-up series ever. I know, bold words coming from me. I think that beat-em-ups are a very underrated genre of gaming. They aren't as relevant as they used to be in the early arcade days. But throughout the years, Streets of Rage has been consistently awesome. Back on Genesis when they first started, and especially Streets of Rage 4. It's fantastic!
Say that again?
But what makes these games so good? Well, it feels good to punch people in them. I am not very good at analyzing games, huh? The combat in 4 is so satisfying. Doing combos on multiple enemies. Oh god, it's so good. It makes me want to merge without looking. Plus, the best part of playing any beat 'em up is playing them with your friends. And if you haven't done that once in your life, you are missing out. Doing combos with your homies in 4 will make you feel like a combo god. My friends can attest to that. Am I right?
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Thanks for coming on my show. Now let me Venmo you $10 for playing with me. Wait, was I recording that? Anyways, these graphics though, look at how good 4 looks. The animations are amazing. Shoutouts to the talented teams who made this game possible. And lastly, I gotta bring up the soundtrack in this series because they got some absolute bops. The original games on Genesis have some amazing songs, especially Streets of Rage 2. It was made by composers
Yuzoko Shiro
and
Motohiro Kawashima.
One of my dreams is to see them live one day. I can only hope. But yeah, if you haven't yet, pick up Streets of Rage 4. It's on like everything. It's so worth it. And make sure you also have a group of friends to play with. Trust me, you're gonna have a great time. But playing so much Streets of Rage really inspired me. I gotta be an outstanding citizen. I gotta help my community. I gotta be like Axel. I gotta stop crime. Here I come, criminals, on my way to stop you once and for all. Update, I no longer have a functional left arm. But that's not gonna stop me from talking about Crazy Taxi. Crazy Taxi released in arcades in 1999 and later ported to Dreamcast in 2000. And this game absolutely oozes the era it came from. The game asks one simple question: what if being an Uber driver was epic? Because you're allowed to break every traffic rule under the sun. That's pretty much Crazy Taxi. And it rules. The absolute octane action driving behind the wheel is thrilling. The gameplay loop is as simple as ever. Pick a driver, go pick up people, bring them to their location. Whether it's a KFC or the Lord's house. You got one big map to explore and it's fun driving through it, with ramps and shortcuts scattered all over the place. It makes traversal even more fun. Best part is, there's no stupid police to stop me from speeding. Just because I ran over a couple of people doesn't mean I need to go to jail for a while. Crazy Taxi has had multiple entries, and way too many mobile games. But for me, you can't go wrong with the original. The original is where it's at. Plus, you can't go wrong with a punk soundtrack featuring songs from Bad Religion and The Offsprings. Really wish I could play those for you, but copyright and stuff. So I thank Primus, No Connection with the Band, for making this awesome cover at the Super Mario 64 sound font. Link in the description to their channel. But yeah, Crazy Taxi rules. I highly recommend that you find a way to try it out, because for some reason, Sega decided to remove it off of Steam. Thanks, Sega. I'm real happy about this decision you made. But playing so much Crazy Taxi makes me feel like I'm in the 90s. And to truly feel like I'm back in the 90s, I should start acting like I was in the 90s. So I decided to cut the brakes on multiple cars outside of my house to truly feel like a rebellious teen of the time. Oh, and I just realized that it's about the time that everybody starts to go to work. Oh god, they're all smashing into each other. I probably should have guessed that would happen.
Let's look at the funk.
Last game we are talking about today has a very big cult fan base, and that is Jet Set Radio! Sorry, force of habit. It's probably the game that most people think about when it comes to cell shading, and it makes me want even more games with that style. The gameplay is simple. Skate around an area and spray paint the whole thing. Teach the man who's boss. And make sure to run your ass away from the coppers. Those pigs won't see what's coming. Just like Sega's other games, it's an addicting gameplay loop that you'll never get tired of. I'd also be remiss if I wasn't talking about the amazing soundtrack this game has. Wow, a Sega game that has really good music? Shocker. Before he started tweeting about Family Guy, Hideki Naganuma made the soundtrack for the Jet Set Radio games, and they are amazing. They include amazing songs such as Humming the Bass Line, Concept of Love, Like It, Like This, Like That,
Like this, like that, like this, like that, like this, like that, like this, like that, like this, like that, like this, like that, like this, like that, like that, that. I like it, I like it.
All absolute banger songs, even if that last song title was a bit of a tongue twister. Listening to those songs makes you want to groove in your room by yourself, like I do after my 750th rejected Tinder swipe. I also absolutely love that the art style heavily matches with the music. It's like they flow together in a sort of way. Gives off a lot of Y2K vibes, especially with Jet Set Radio Future. Currently, Sega is making a new Jet Set Radio. In fact, they're working on new entries for most of the series that I talked about in today's video. And that's good because Jet Set Radio has been a very dormant franchise that Sega could do so much with. So I'm glad it's getting the recognition it deserves. But if you want to play a new Jet Set Radio game right now because you're too impatient to wait for the new one, go play Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, an amazing game heavily inspired by Jet Set Radio. Nintendo. Team Reptile is doing the work of gods with how great this game is. Go check it out. Please, I beg you. It's amazing. Wait, do you hear that? Ah, shit, they found out that I cut those brakes. You'll never take me alive!
12 seconds later.
Update, I am currently recording this final bit in jail. The police that arrested me were also fans of Crazy Taxi, so they let me do this. In conclusion, I love Sega. They make some of my favorite games growing up. There are other games that I probably could have talked about. Virtua Fighter, Shinobi, Shin Megami Tensei, fucking Angry Birds. But that can be for another time. A lot of the older games that I talked about here have actually been delisted from a lot of modern platforms, and that pisses me off. I want as many people to experience these awesome games. I like Sega, but I can't defend this anti-consumer bullshit. Everyone should be able to play the Jet Set Radio games, or Persona 1 and 2, or the original Yakuza games. But if you can't get access to these games, you can always sail the 7 seas. But isn't it dumb that I'm making a video praising Sega and talking about their faults at the same time? Yes, but let's ignore that. In the end, what can we learn from this experience? As long as you are a Crazy Taxi fan, you will get a lighter prison sentence. See you in 2 weeks, maybe.